Hello and welcome to the 5th Trooper terrain tutorial. This is kind of going to be a simple, quick breakdown. I don't have a lot of time on my hands and I'm sure you don't. And so I just kind of want to break down like how you can build terrain in about an hour. So with this build, as you can see, I use the ATST from the Legion set. And you're probably thinking to yourself, wow, Jay, that must be nice to have that kind of money to buy that to use it for terrain. The answer is yes, it is. So here, I want to get this video done in about 5 minutes. So here I'm just showing you that I'm using the Rust-Oleum 2-in-1. It's a paint and primer. You can pick it up at like Walmart for a couple bucks. That's what I sprayed, primed the unit with. And then right here I'm using Vallejo Rust. And basically I'm going to take this sponge and I'm just going to dab it a little bit here. And I'm just trying to create a rust effect. And so what I'm doing is I'm doing this across the whole unit. Because what'll end up happening is I'll end up spraying with some paint over it. So right here, I just spraying some hairspray that I stole from my girlfriend. And who am I kidding? I don't have a girlfriend. No, just kidding, I do. And then I'm putting kosher salt on it because everything needs to be kosher these days. And basically what this is going to do is give us a really nice effect when we go ahead and spray over with the gray. It'll give us a nice peeling effect for the rust. This stuff's all pretty easy to find. So here I've already spray painted using the same Rust-Oleum prime and paint spray. What I'm doing is I'm taking that Q-tip and I dipped it in some water and I'm basically rubbing it down because that reactivates the hairspray. And then as I rub it, you'll see the gray paint starts coming off. And I'm also using a little wire brush tool. It's actually got plastic brush. So it's not as hard, but it gives it a nice kind of texture and stuff when you're pulling the gray paint off. So, I'm basically scraping away the salt and using the little water to get all the other edges and stuff that didn't have salt on them. Now you do gotta spray it with the hairspray, otherwise this won't work. So here I'm using a wash Nuln Oil, and I'm not going crazy. I'm just trying to get into some of the cracks and crevices here, and then I'm using little Q-tips to clean up any extra that I put on. And like I said, I don't have a lot of time for terrain, and so I'm just trying to do stuff that's quick and dirty and get it out as quick as possible. So I can have more time to play or do the podcast or do whatever it is. So here you can see I got a little board out. It's a little card stock. And basically I'm taking brown paint with some mixing in some texture paint. You can get these at any paint, art store. And I'm just creating a nice texture on that board. I believe this was like a 5.5 by 8.5 chipboard. So creating a nice little mud texture on there. And then next I'm gonna take a look at the leg, and what I'm doing is I glued a little piece of Cat 5 cable on there and cut it so there's some wires hanging out. Now I'm just painting that blue sheath black, so it looks like some wiring for the leg that got busted. So next I'm gonna be placing the ATST on there. There's my placement. I glued it in place. I'm using these little model kit kind of cattail type decorations to put around it. I'm super gluing them here just as placement, and then what I do is I come back through with like a hot glue gun and I just finish it up so they stay in place. And just finishing up the cattails here. So now I'm gonna move on to putting on flock. I'm just using standard static flock grass. I'm going to put a little glue on there. I'm using a dinosaur plate because I have a son and that's the only paper plates I had. A little glue, and then I put the flock on. And then the plate, catches the extra flock so I don't waste any. And I'm just trying to touch the edges here, maybe a little bit under, and see what I can do here. Get rid of the excess there. And then this is it. So there's the unit. Took like about maybe an hour and 20 minutes to hour and a half when it was all said and done. The longest part is the paint, the spray paint, but it's quick dry, so it wasn't too bad. But yeah, so there's the final unit. I think it looks really good. Table ready. It's a nice piece of terrain. And quick and dirty. And so for people who don't have time, I think this is a great way to do stuff. Thanks for watching.